My name is Justin Case, and this is my 3-year World of Warcraft hardcore journey to reaching level 60. Giving it another shot. Here we go. Alright. Hardcore started for me back in December 2020. I was at the Wetlands dock, and I first saw a toon with an HC at the end of their name, and I had been playing Classic for about a year or so, had done some raiding, and honestly was just getting kind of bored, but didn't have another game to play. I asked this guy what HC meant at the back of his name, and that is when I first learned about World of Warcraft Hardcore. Instantly, the idea made me super excited. I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this thing a shot. After learning some more about what Hardcore actually was, the idea hooked me. I looked up the rules, I logged out of my character at that moment, and I instantly went and created a new Hardcore character, and I was hooked from the get-go. I think my first death was probably like level 16 in Wetlands or something, and having to create that first toon just a few hours into the game time of my very first toon, I was like, okay, I think I like this. Yeah, I'm not so sure about it, but I think I'm about it. And that is really when I got hooked into World of Warcraft Hardcore. And that's what has made me take this 3-year journey to finally reaching level 60. Oh, fuck, you did it, bro. You fucking died, bro.
Oh, we're dead. We're dead. We're dead. Run, 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 run.
I'd say our first real journey started a few characters in. After we had got the hang of it, died a couple times at like level 16, level 18, at some Murlocs in Westfall and a couple other things. We really were like, okay, we got an understanding of what hardcore is. Me and my duo at the time were like, let's give this a shot. Let's really try. And if we're really going to try, then we're going to play the toons we want to play. For me, that's a human warlock. For him, it was a night elf hunter. Back then, you couldn't do any questing, any killing, anything without your duo partner. So he gets to Wetlands, swims all the way to Westfall, and then has to make it through all the mobs so that he can get to me and we can quest in Elwyn, which is pretty funny thinking back of about the 2 hours it took for all of that to happen. I honestly didn't realize how much life this journey could bring back into Classic for me. I tried so many other games, I could never get into them the same way that I was back in original World of Warcraft, TBC, and Wrath. There was nothing like that, especially when I was a kid. So when Classic was announced, of course I was there on launch day just like many of you were. But soon it dwindled. It wasn't the same like it was back in 2004 and 2007 for TBC. It didn't have that same exploration feeling. Everything had so much meta and so much min-maxing. Even myself, it didn't feel the way that I thought it would feel. And after getting into hardcore, all of that came back. I was forced to explore and forced to be careful and forced to pay attention that my love for World of Warcraft that I had always wanted back finally was back in the game. And realizing that it was through hardcore, I was like, this is the only form of the game that I'm going to play because this allows me to actually enjoy World of Warcraft the way it was meant to be enjoyed. I was actually reading quest texts because I wanted to know more of the lore. It was freaking awesome because when I was a young kid, I enjoyed some of that stuff, but it was so much different now. I'm a different person. And hardcore basically forces you to enjoy every single aspect of the game, and that's one of the main reasons I was hooked. Knowing that you could only do each dungeon once made me want to do it every single dungeon. No dungeon grinding or getting made boosted was a huge benefit to hardcore, and I loved enjoying all of these old school dungeons again. The fact that I could only do it once and I needed good gear to stay alive in hardcore made me want to do it and made me enjoy it with the right group because obviously you didn't want to die. I'm sure many of you know or remember in a previous time when you had to jump on the wheel in Dead Mines for the safe spot to stay alive. So back to my journey, right? Back to our first real journey. Being 30-year-old gamers with 15 years of experience, we were so confident in our skills that we were really never worried about death. Like I said in the beginning, we died a couple times. We were just really figuring out hardcore because we had never had to worry about not dying before. I mean, we were a warlock and a hunter, so we had essentially 4 of us because we had our 2 pets with our current setup. And in order for us to really die, we would pretty much have to royally screw it up. Especially when you get your mounts in Classic, you just assume it's going to be smooth sailing from there. And there was nothing worse than seeing a level 40 plus death alert, because you know, unless they were a paladin or a warlock, they had to grind to get their gold because they weren't selling all of their profession or random items they got on the auction house. Honestly, seeing those level 40 deaths, like, I would laugh at them because I'm like, there's no way. How do you make it that far and still die? Like, how do you make that mistake? That's so much time wasted. Every time when I was in the beginning of hardcore, I would call those people noobs and laugh at them. But looking back now, I guess I'm probably the biggest noob of them all. Probably have over 5+ level 40 deaths. So I guess I'm right there in that same boat. I guess karma got me. Okay. So we're getting close in our journey, right? Like, we got our mounts. We finally hit level 50. And we were feeling great about this run. This was I would say, our first serious run where we're like, we're going to hit level 60. We're going to make this work. And I knew that the next few zones were going to be the toughest, right? We're going into Ungor Crater. We're going into Fellwood. We're rolling through some of the zones up until then. Like, we did Tenaris just fine. And I'm thinking, okay, we are in the zone. We're good. We got good teamwork. We got good camaraderie. We're in disc voice the whole time. We are making this work. But of course, right when you get cocky is right when you get got. Right when we were cruising through Ungoro, we made the stupid mistake of getting a little too split up, and probably one of my most regrettable WoW mistakes ever. Not number one, but probably top 3. Just a tip, don't get cocky in a zone that doesn't understand what mob spacing is when you're in the wild, as you will end up just like we did in Ungoro, dead at level 51 on a duo. Soon after we died, I actually welcomed my first child into the world. So we had gotten to a point where we knew we were like a week or 2 away from having a baby, and also wanting to hit 60 on classic WoW hardcore. And so I would say my priorities had to change once my child was born. So I was trying to get 60 as soon as possible before the baby, which led to our demise. I could no longer be gaming really after work or after dinner, as I had to change and become, this new version of myself, be the best father that I could be. And I was already obviously trying to be the best husband that I could be. But I realized I was definitely missing some World of Warcraft time soon after my baby was born. And that's when I realized how much of a nerd I really am, because I didn't really have too much time after work, because I wanted to hang out with my child and my wife and still have some time to chill. So I'm waking up at 5 a.m. so that I can play from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. before my daughter wakes up. And I feel like that is a sign that you're probably a nerd or a big gamer. And yet here I am with that sign right in front of my face. So after my duo death, and then having my child, waking up at 5 a.m., my duo partner really didn't want to wake up at 5 a.m. with me to play duo. Also, like, my schedule is just so tough, we really wouldn't have had a ton of time to play together. So I decided I'm gonna do a solo adventure this time, see if I can actually make it work. And I went off and I was rolling, because I had learned so much from my 51 duo, what to avoid, what not to avoid, and I was honestly rolling. I don't have a ton of footage from this run, unfortunately, but I was grinding every day, basically 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., sometimes at night if I had a little bit to squeeze in. But I went with Warlock again, and honestly, it was going so smooth. I was like, this is the run. I am finally going to make it. This is when it's going to happen. I got to level 59, and literally the unthinkable happened. In Vanilla WoW, and when Classic came out, I actually never really quested in Silithus at all. I wasn't there for the opening of the gates or anything like that, so I'd never really been in Silithus. But at 59, I had kind of run out of quests elsewhere, and I realized Silithus is the place that I need to go. I'm essentially 59 and a half. I just got half a level. I can play it safe. I can make this work. I know I can do this. I've gotten this far. I know I can make this work. But when you go to a place that you don't know and aren't familiar with, there are things that you don't know about. And this one right here is essentially what got me. I went into a room that I did not know when you walk in that room, it spawns 3 mobs immediately right on top of you. And being half health, half mana, and it being 5 a.m., I instantly panicked. And it happened. I died essentially at 59 and a half on a solo character. Just after I had died at 51 on a duo. I could not believe it. Every time I would see a level 51 or 59 death, I'm like, there's no way. How could you do it? How could you make that happen? How could you die at 59, bro? And yet I'm the guy that I was saying that to that time. I could not believe it. I essentially had no words. I wanted to scream so bad inside, but it was 5 a.m. and my whole family was asleep. Honestly, it was almost a little bit worse because it was 5 a.m. and no one was really online. So I got like 4 Fs in chat, which almost just made it worse for some reason. After this time, I absolutely had to take another break. I wanted to just enjoy some time with my wife and daughter and not think about hardcore WoW. Even though the whole time I still did think about it because I didn't accomplish it. And in my mind, I'm like, there's no way I can quit and not accomplish level 60 in hardcore WoW. So I took a few months break, but the whole time, pretty much every day, I was still thinking about it. And that eventually led me back to it. And just when I thought hardcore might have been put behind me, I hear that Blizzard is finally releasing an official hardcore server. Okay, so I'm actually hyped for this. Like, I'm ready, okay? I feel that this is my chance to redeem myself and finally accomplish something I've been trying to do since December 2020. Obviously, the rules have changed. There's a lot more flexibility in official hardcore, but it didn't matter. Like, I still had to accomplish and finally finish this so that I could put it to rest. So I'm making it. We're working. This is going well. I get to South Shore. I had never actually seen the South Shore Assassins before. So I was on the lookout for them because I wanted to kill them and get the quest. But I was level 33, so I knew I was a few levels lower. I'd need some guards' help. Well, the worst thing happened. 2 South Shore Assassins spawned right on top of me.
Ooh.
Right on top of me. There's nothing I can do. Well, there was probably something I could do. But in the moment, there's nothing I could do. My heart starts pounding. I start freaking out. I remember back to when I died at level 41 to some Zanzo mobs.
Okay,
And I was told later on, after the death, hey, you can run in the water and they don't follow you. So I'm thinking maybe it's the same thing here. I find out that that's wrong. And so they eventually get killed by the guards. I'm trying to swim back to land to eat. They put a poison on me.
Sack the Void Walker!
Wah, wah,
Sack
wah.
the fucking Void Walker!
Here I
What
am,
are you doing?
dead at level 33.
You piece of shit! You're literally watching me! You piece of fucking shit! Oh my god, bro. This is one of my viewers? Fuck.
So 2 tries in, and I'm dead. Okay. A third and final try. I know that I can make this work. I know that this can work. This has to work. I can do this. I am equipped for this. I can make this happen. There was just one small wrench in the plans. After that 33 death, I think it was early September, just a couple days after that, I was expecting to welcome my second child into the world. So even more responsibilities, even more priorities, less time to try to get level 60. But I knew that I would be on paternity leave and I could use that to my advantage to see if I could get to level 60. I probably have over 50 hardcore deaths, maybe even more. And some of them are just lame, boring deaths, but some of them are pretty good deaths, you know, like deaths that are worth talking about, like dying at level 41 to some Zanzo mobs on a duo, dying to the Terran Mill guards at level 36, dying at level 43 in Booty Bay because a griefer was standing on the quest giver and I accidentally clicked on the griefer, killed him, and then the Booty Bay guards killed me. Dying at level 56 on a solo warlock to Princess in Winter Spring. Dying at level 22 to a trio, doing the road quest in Westfall. I didn't know that the malformed Defias drone can basically one-shot you. Live and you learn. And just something else fun that I liked was at level 57, I barely squeaked past, got knocked off a cliff, luckily clicked a Hellstone and made it work. So that happened and I'm like, this is my run. This is the run that's going to make it. But that was the run that I died at level 59. Of course. So I have to give it one last chance, right? I had already died twice in official hardcore. I knew they were both gimmicks, and this third one was going to be the run. I had to do it. 2 kids, a wife. I have to make this work. I have to finish it. I'm on paternity leave. I have some time when they're napping, and at night, I have to make this work. So, after 45 days of playing this tune, and 6 days of in-game time, I finally did it. Waking up at 5 a.m., playing during my kids' naps, I conquered level 60 hardcore World of Warcraft. 3 years I've been trying to get level 60 in hardcore World of Warcraft. And finally, I have done it. Right here, in this moment. Wow. Oh, that feels so good. Oh my gosh. Oh, that feels so good. Oh man. Wow. 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 Level 60. Level 60 human warlock. Wow. I can finally uninstall until I saw Blizzard is coming out with Season of Discovery at the end of the month. So I guess I'll have to reinstall then. But hey, we did it, right? So 3 years, hardcore World of Warcraft, finally hit level 60. This will not take you this long. I made a lot of stupid mistakes, but some cool memories along the way. And I did it with a lot of my friends. So appreciate you guys watching. 07s.